Blog Talk Radio.
We welcome the night.
Oasis, a radio show where we discuss all the latest movies and news from the world of horror. Joining me tonight, as always, is my co-host, Ian. Ian, are you there?
I think so.
Oh, I know. It's one of those, it's going to be one of those shows. But, how you been? You been doing all right?
Yeah. For the most part.
That's good to hear. Get a little bit of stuff out of the way first that's important to the show. We are continuing on our Halloween Grab Bag Marathon. We will be reviewing the film The Haunting of the Murder House. But before we get to that, it is to be known that we are also, for our final pick, allowing those listening, we are bringing back the Listener's Choice review for our final Halloween Grab Bag Marathon. We have made a post on both our Instagram and our main Facebook page. But I'll go ahead in TikTok. So I'll go over the titles available at the time. And like it says in the post, pick the one that you're interested in for a review and leave either the number or film title. And that will be next week's choice. And the titles are Corn, Bad Candy, Jack vs. Lanterns, Tales from the Other Side, and Hurt. So those are the choices, and voting will end on October 26th, which is next Wednesday, so that's a day before the radio show. So get those picks. We got a few votes in already, so we need some more, because right now it's a tie. So we need that not to be the case. So, the voting. I'm looking forward to probably actually watching a movie, Ian. I made that little joke before we went on air, but it'd be nice to actually watch a movie.
Mentally checking out.
Yeah. But continuing on, we're going to get into this Halloween Grab Bag Marathon with The Haunting of the Murder House. Whatever else they can add on to that title, probably The Haunting of the Murder House, of the Suicidal Clown, of the Killer Clown, of the Ouija Board, of the this, of the that. They could have just went on and on and on, like that stupid, what was it, the Night of the Dawn of the Day of the Dead, of the subhumanoid living cannibal humanistic zombie thing. They made like 3 or 4 of them, which is spoof films like Night of the Living Dead. You could have done that with this one. But, okay, The Haunting of the Murder House. I guess I'll just go into the small plot therein. So the film opens up almost exactly, as soon as this started, Ian, it took me back to another film we reviewed called The Fear Footage, where it had the cop going through the house, as the wraparound story when the cop's going through the house and he's just like looking for things and like there's shadows and like stuff going across the background of like the hallways of the house. So I was like, well, this director saw fear footage and decided to do that for the opening of his film. Again, who knows? So we have a cop. He's going through the house, and then he gets to the garage, and then there's a guy in a clown mask with a kid or a young girl. I don't exactly know. I think they said it was a girl, that he killed multiple girls later on in the film. But so he has a knife to her throat and slices her throat, and then the cop shoots at the clown. And then later on you find out, like, oh, the cop didn't shoot the clown. The clown committed suicide. Like, why wasn't that shown? Okay, so we needed, I don't know why that wasn't, there's a lot of things I don't know why, but we'll get to them. So now it's, I don't know how many, so on later, I don't know, months, years, I have no idea. And basically, the guy who was the clown, his name was Lester Morgan, and his house is still there. It's not been torn down or demolished. It's just been boarded up. And this paranormal group called The Other Side are going to the house for, they don't even bring it up. They could have had like this in a little brief conversation, like, hey, it's Halloween night, and we're going to Lester Morgan's house. They don't even say that. It's just like sometime in October they're going to this house. That's what it says on the everything. They don't even mention Halloween or anything, but it's just like, oh, we're going there. So just assume it's Halloween night, even though they don't bring any mention of it. It makes it easier to make this fall in line as a Halloween movie. If you just put that little seed in your brain, even though it doesn't really matter. So anyway, they decide to go there to do the paranormal online, to stay the night, which you've seen done numerous times, and you've seen this film numerous times before, where they're going to stay the night and capture any activity, EVPs, voice, everything, like catch, shadows, glimpses of everything, basically whatever a paranormal paranormal person would do. It's ghost hunters, basically. And so they do this, and they're just nonchalantly going through the house, like, and if things don't work out, they're going to fake things. They have, like, fake audio for the EVPs. They decide to do a Ouija board, and it's all, showcased online on their website, so it's a live streaming site. And like they ask their listeners, your viewers, to say what they want to do. And there's a guy out in the van that does all the streaming stuff. And so it's just the names was Kai and Harper. Harper's the female, and then we have the cameraman who does sets up all the cameras on the walls and stuff like that. And they're just going through a house, and they're locked in there overnight or for so many hours, and then things happen. I guess things happen. This one was not very good, but in a way it's like the most plain of the films, because it's just like the director saw all these other movies in like paranormal movies, haunting movies, and decided to do his own spin and make his own film. Because like I said, the first act is like fear footage, and then there's like a literal scene taken from Lights Out, the short film and the movie, where like the guy's turning on and off the light, and the spirit of the clown's there, or Lester's there, and they do that forever, and then like get on to the point. Then it finally happens, and then they just do random things, and like in a sense, Ian, it's better than Scare Attraction. I will say that. I mean, they do a lot of stuff that like Scare Attraction did. Like, we're going to put you in this closet, and you're going to be scared. And like at least this one, they kind of did more with it in a sense, with putting him in there. There's the mannequins with like the mask on, the mannequin head moves back and forth, and so it's better than Scare Attraction at least, but that's still not saying much. So yeah, honestly, there's not much to do with this film. There's, like last week, there's just like not that much to review with this one. It's the same thing. There's just, they go through the house, they talk about the history, they look at the camera, they tell you more about the history of the house, what Lister did, and then they proceed to do, a ghost hunting tactic, voice recording, lock someone into the room, play with the Ouija board, the planchette moves back and forth. You find out that, it's not Lester, it's the devil on the Ouija board, and it just goes on from that, and there's not much to it. Ian, what's your thoughts?
I mean, it's sad because, you literally just covered the entire movie because nothing happens. Almost the entire movie. Other than, one guy getting hit in the head with a hammer. That's it.
I will say that it does have some, okay practical effects. That's random as fuck.
Exactly.
Because, the guy getting his head bashed in with a hammer was actually cool. And then later on, a guy gets his head sawed off with a hacksaw. And it's where'd that come from? Again, going into this, I don't mean to cut you off, Ian, but, this sounded like a found footage. It sounded like a found footage. So I'd expected something, like those weird asylum film mockbusters of the paranormal activity films, like Gacy House or something like that, where it's crazy stuff with found footage. But it's not. It's just straightforward cameraman following them, and it's it's a movie. It's not a found footage movie, and that kind of threw me off because I expected something like that. I don't know, but go on, Ian, talking about the gore.
Oh no, I was gonna say, it's definitely looked better than whatever the hell they did when they were getting that head smashed in through the mask. It was all just goo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just and the guy who was watching them all through the cameras and stuff, when that happened, he was just oh God, oh gee, oh my God. I was making fun of him the rest of the movie. I was that's ridiculous. I was okay, that was kind of ridiculous. I mean, this movie, it was just boring. It wasn't like last week where it was just I enjoyed this movie a little more just because it had more cohesive plot than Zombie Socks at the end. But yeah, no, it wasn't good. It was boring. I kept checking out.
No, it's like a Tootsie Roll, it's perfectly fine, it's Tootsie Roll's good here and there. It's not your main choice, but it's Tootsie Roll's not bad. I mean, it's still a Tootsie Roll. I mean, that's what this is. It's plain. There's not much to it, and it's just it was
just
fine.
Generic.
It's just generic haunted house movie.
You'll get a million of them in your trick-or-treat box.
Yeah.
Pail, bucket, bag, whatever.
In every anthology, there's something like this. I mean, there's always one of these, we're going to play. Fucking the first film we did was like that. We're going to play with the Ouija board, but that one was just so fucking outlandish. It was fucking great. This one is just everything was, again, just the way that the acted as well was just hey, everyone, we're here, and we're going to do this thing with the Ouija board. And it's just there's no emotion in a way for even when they're scared or anything. It's just especially the guy, like you said, in the van, where the way he was acting and when he was calling 911, it's just the way he was acting. It was a little. It wasn't over the top. It was just play acting, now act like you're in trouble. Oh my God, dude, really? There's someone here, and you're just playing off the situation, ad-libbing, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna calm down. All right, sorry for bothering, taking up your time. We don't need police. We don't need this. And it's just even though I feel like I did a better job than he did, but still, that's just kind of the way it was.
Yeah, that was the act was stiff. They all seemed like they knew what they were, they all seemed like they had professional acting before, but I guess they were trying to emulate what they watch on
Yeah, except for not the fun ones, just like the super serious ones. I was like, come on, give me one more. Give me some of the, hey demons, it's me, your boy.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But again, we're I'm not really complaining about the acting. It's just it was stiff, But again, like here we are saying this is their acting's not good, and we watch fucking Halloween Double Trouble horror show with like there was no acting, So it's like, God,
That I'd take bad acting over that.
Yeah.
Like or stiff acting, I should say, not bad, stiff. There's a difference.
But yeah. Oh God. When you have teenage girls. You take stiff acting over teenage girls just talking about things, at a Halloween party or whatever they were doing. But nonetheless, like this still, again, like I said, it's like 78 minutes and just like nothing happens until like the last 18 minutes. So you besides them like doing normal things, like I said, the Ouija board locked in a back room they found, and then like just them talking about leaving, and then like they're locked in the house, and then they go to open all right, it's time to leave. The key breaks off in the lock, and then they can't get out of the house, and then like they go through the house, and like there's a door in the garage right there beside the washing machine. You can't get out of that way. The lock's on the inside, and that's a lot of things issues. Like it's just common sense. Like when he gets locked in the room and he can't get out, like you're literally looking at him holding the knob, and like the latch is like right there. Like all you have to do is turn it, and that's what a lot of stuff is just like. It seems like the director is like wanting to, again, like do all this stuff, like he emulate films that he's seen before, but like common sense as a viewer makes that really difficult because like you're looking at all this stuff and like the door's right there, the lock's right there, it's not on the opposite side. And, like, you can get out. Like, windows, are all the windows boarded up? I mean, there's the one that the driver of the van breaks into, but you can't just go out a window. It's just like it seems like everything was, like...
Right.
It was
pull some stuff off the wall.
It wasn't, like... It was just, like, they should, like, give this, like, exposition, like, everything's boarded up, but they don't.
And I'm pretty sure they could find the hammer and nails and pry it off the fucking walls.
Yeah, but it just didn't make sense. I was thinking, it's like, why is he trying to get you out when you can just get out yourself?
Yeah, like that was the only lock on the door. Like there's all these other windows, and I'm sure there's a back door. There's one in the garage. You can lift up the garage door itself and probably get out.
Yeah.
So it was just like one of those things where it's like, if you don't think too much, it's just like, oh, it's one of those just convenience, and it's like a word we usually we say just because they can't get out just because and this is one of those situations where it's just like. And it doesn't even seem like they were, again, another one where it was just like, they weren't in that much trouble. Honestly, it's like, what was the point? Like, they didn't really, nothing really happened. I mean, he got possessed by the spirit of Lester or the devil or whatever, and he put on the mask and he killed his friends. That's it.
Yeah. And then, like, it was over. And they hinted that it was still happening. And I was like, I saw that coming. Mm-hmm. But, like right before they even showed or even talked about the Ouija board, I had a feeling the Ouija board was coming into play. I was like, oh, God, please do not bring out the Ouija board. And then they did. And I was like, you're really playing by the numbers right now. I was like, you are playing a safe game right now. Like,
yeah,
do something
it's a
different.
very, very safe movie. I mean, and plus when like the mask, when you see the mask looks cool. I mean, I'm sure that had to cost like $150 because that looked like a pretty high end, interesting like mask that you would buy online at some shop. But because it had like the teeth, I thought like it would come into play more. But you only see hints of it here and there, and shadow, him walking across the room, someone's messing with the camera, and then he walks out of frame, and then, you see the clown walk in the background. It's a very safe and pedestrian movie. It just doesn't go off the road. It's going down it's going down the straight path. It doesn't do anything you haven't seen done before. It's safe. It's plain. It's a million times already in hard. There's nothing to this film you haven't seen before. It's just someone trying to emulate what they've seen and make their own, and that's what this is.
Yeah, exactly. And, but even for as safe as it was, it knew what it wanted to be. It knew what it wanted to do, and I think they did it. I mean, and so I can't hate on it for that. I mean, there's plenty of movies that do the same thing, but worse.
Like, Scare Attraction is just awful. I mean, don't ever watch Scare Attraction. I mean, I don't know why I still remember that thing, but at least this one is more of a freaking film than Scare Attraction was, and made some sense. Scare Attraction was just a fucking mess and convoluted for no reason, and had an ending that didn't make fucking sense at all. But nonetheless, especially even the haunted house aspect was fucking ass backwards. But this one at least feels like a movie, as one could expect the movie, even though it's been done numerous times before, as mentioned. And they had an idea. They just wanted to emulate, possession, haunting type movies, and they did it. I mean, at least it's short. It's not overly long, thank God. And it just, it's just not much happens, but like we said, it's just a very plain Tootsie Roll, just like nothing bad, nothing good. It's just a Tootsie Roll, just very plain.
And I mean, there's people out there that would enjoy this movie. People that probably don't watch a whole lot of horror movies or found footage, and that don't like super like over the top, gory, and tons of jump scares. And honestly, I think it could have used more jump scares, because like it would have given us something other than just like a couple of scenes here and there. But I don't know. I think they did set a good, nice little tone and a nice pace. Like, it didn't feel too rushed or too, slow.
They were always going on to the next thing, and then like if that didn't work out, they talked about how come it didn't work out, and this, they kept like again adding something like, okay, we're gonna do the EVP, that didn't work. What are we going to do now? We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So it's just like, and again, there's like some bickering here and there, and the cameraman wants to quit halfway through, and he says, if you quit, what's her name? Megan, what is her name? Harper. She says, if you leave, you're not going to get money because this is like the biggest stream we've done. We're going to get so much, and when we make it big and get a TV deal, you're not going to get any of it if you coming back to me. If you come back whimpering or saying you're sorry. So like they try to add a little bit of character development between all the three people in the house, but again, it's just very vanilla.
Yeah.
Comes to everything else.
But it's also better than what I was expecting after the last couple of movies. I kind of just, I was just like expecting. Like, I'm like, okay, so while, it's not our favorite little snack, at least it was somewhat, like, enjoyable.
Yeah, it's tolerable. It's not the previous two, I will say that. And it was better than some of the previous picks from the marathon.
The last two were, like,
years.
Sugar-free, off-brand candy that are just awful.
But again, I don't think
at least this one has some sweetness to it.
Yeah. Double Trouble just tossed everything at you.
Yeah.
Oh man, but nonetheless, again, there's not really much else to say. I mean, like I said, it's very plain, it's very basic, you've seen it done before. People go into a house, they do paranormal activities, from EVPs, Ouija board, locked in a room, everything that's been done previously, and someone gets possessed, and then they start wearing the clown mask and attacking people. So it's very, like I said, it's very simplistic. And, again, it's nothing terrible. We've seen worse. And as I said before, it's tolerable. Of course, if you watch back-to-back shitty films on a weekly basis, I mean, it's
anything looks better.
Yeah, anything looks better. You look at it, oh, okay, I'll give them that. So, yeah, it's not anything amazing. It's still not good, but at least there's something there, even if it's as basic as can be. But, yeah, it's not the worst this marathon had to offer. It's not the, oh, boy. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, because this film was
just nothing, and there's not even really anything to latch onto to like tear it apart either.
No,
I mean,
no, it's just a director emulating films.
Other work,
haunting.
Yeah,
yeah. So
I mean,
it's just
there's
him like,
definitely
I'm
better
going to do
out
this
there,
scene, I'm going to do that scene. Yeah.
And there's definitely worse.
Besides a few gore scenes here and there, they could have not shied away from either. I mean, they had. It looked like you could have racked up the gore just a little bit. I mean, the hacksaw scene would have been cool to see that if it wasn't like shaky, because that looks pretty like solid, honestly, for what they were trying to do. But they didn't do much with it. And then, the slit throat and the other scene was pretty cool. But again, they don't. It's just average. I mean, it's a pretty average movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say with this one. Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I don't really even think there's anything to really just complain about or praise it about. Just, it's what it was.
Yeah.
Just like
the
movie.
There. it's just.
Our review is exactly like that movie. Just
as basic as it comes.
To the point and got what we wanted to get across, and
then we're done. Then it ends.
Yep.
So, yeah, that is going to do it for the Haunting of the Murder House. Very generic haunting movie. You've heard our thoughts. Yeah, so that's going to do it for that review. And don't forget to vote for our Halloween Grab Bag Marathon for Listener's Choice. Again, the choices are Corn, Bad Candy, Jack vs. Lanterns, Tales from the Other Side, and Hurt. Again, you can either vote on our main page on Facebook.com/HorrorNightOasis or Instagram.com/HorrorNightOasis. Both posts. I'll make another post on Instagram later, probably in the week. And, again, just vote and pick the film that you want us to review. Again, it's up to you. If you want something that's interesting that you want to know about, pick that one. If you just want to make us suffer, pick that one. I don't know. It's all a mystery, and we've had our fun putting our hands in the grab bag. So hopefully this will give you a chance to reach in and pull something out. So hopefully whichever film you choose becomes next week's film that we review. So, Ian, with that, I'm going to call it a show. I always look forward to these. I'll have some information probably over the weekend pertaining to other stuff, hopefully. So we'll see how that turns out, because we'll talk off air. And with that being said, I want to thank everyone for listening, and we will see you next week for our finale of the Halloween Grab Bag Marathon. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on Horror Night Oasis.
Good night.